First things first, this video, I'm going to tell you the whole punchline of it right at the beginning. So you don't have to watch the rest of it, the unboxing and that type of stuff. I'll go through some more details, but I want to just be upfront with what the point of this video is going to be at the very beginning. And that is, don't believe the hype. Everyone right now, every time I walk into a GameStop or in a store, I see people asking for, are you going to have any PS5s? Are you going to have any Xboxes? And I know that some of that is kids, right? You want to be able to get the toy the kids want, and everybody's going crazy for these PlayStation 5s and the new Xbox Series X and Series S, and wants to get their hands on it so they can play the next gen console. And I love next gen consoles. When they came out, for instance, the Xbox 360, the PlayStation 3, it was just in all the iterations before that, there was this amazing jump. Even the Nintendo Switch, the Nintendo Wii, there were these at least differentiators between the consoles to make it so that you were getting something that really felt revolutionary and new. And I'm going to tell you right up front that these consoles do not hit that mark at all. At all. All of the hype and trying to get your hands on one and buy one, unless you're just doing it because that's what your kids' one request is for the holidays. I get that. Go off and continue camping out and trying to get one. But for everybody else who's paying $1,000 or more for these things, you're absolutely wasting your money. I know I have both of them, and I feel like nothing changed between playing with the Xbox One and the PS4 Pro versus these consoles. There are slight differences in the controllers. There's definitely some speed in the load times that's improved. You might get a clearer picture. Maybe you'll have some more clarity in the games, but nothing earth-shattering. Nothing that makes me, if I was to go over to somebody's house and they didn't tell me they were playing the new Spider-Man game on a PS5, I'd just assume it was the PS4 Pro. And so save your money, save the anxiety of going out there and trying to grab one of these, because both Sony and Xbox, mostly Xbox, but Sony's guilty of this too, really didn't do anything but an iterative upgrade. It's no different than going from the Xbox One to the Xbox One X. It's just better hardware inside, faster load times, a few frills here and there, and we'll get into that in this video. But that's what I wanted to say up front, is that if you're watching this video and you're wanting to get one of these, just wait until there's myriads of them at every Target and Walmart and everything else. You're not missing anything, especially, or at least I should say, right now. So let's get into the details, and I'll show you why I think this. And let me know in the comments below if you think differently. So here they are, side by side, the PS5 and the Xbox Series S. Now, keep in mind I got the Series S, which is not like the lesser PlayStation 5, which just doesn't have a disc drive. The S is actually a little less powerful than the X. It's meant for more of the 2K 60 frame plus per second experience. If you look at this thing, it's tiny. It feels like a retro console that you would get, that they brought back, like an old Sega Genesis or something that they brought back. If you've ever unboxed one of those, it's light. It feels really, really cheap. And the overall look of it is just not anything that's impressive to me personally. Now, my wife will tell you she likes the look of this better than the PlayStation 5, and probably because it just takes up less room in the living room. Notice there's no HDMI in anymore, just the HDMI out. And of course, you have your storage expansion slot in the back, which I think is creative. But overall, looking inside of this, you get, your power cable, you get a controller, which is just mildly different, an iterative upgrade at best. I will tell you to make sure you use the HDMI cables that come with these devices, because I believe they're all HDMI 2.1, probably not something you have if you have older HDMI cables. You can see they kind of got the Elite D-pad there. That's one difference. And you have a dedicated share button. There's more grip, and some of the triggers kind of feel a little tighter, less kind of clicky. This didn't even come with the rechargeable battery kit. It just came with batteries to throw in there. So just the whole feeling, if you look, this is the regular Xbox One controller, and this is the new controller. The new one you can differentiate because it has a share button in that D-pad, but otherwise fairly identical. Like I was saying, there's more grip. It's a little bit more elongated. when you look at the PS5, when we get to that, you're going to see that they actually took a lot of time to add new features into the controller, whereas this one's just kind of taking the same features and maybe enhancing them slightly for ergonomics and that type of thing, but otherwise nothing to write home about. The Xbox is very disappointing console, the S, I should say, to me, the interface and things. And again, the only difference is one's meant for 4K and will load slightly faster. But I'm not talking about load times here. I'm just talking about the games and the experience. They want you to download an app to get everything set up. There's no manual or other material included. Again, unlike the PS5, which we'll get into, actually gives you a manual. The overall experience of unboxing this is nothing short of just disappointment. Now, Microsoft does have some amazing things like Game Pass, but you could play that. You could have Game Pass on the Xbox One and the Xbox One X. And Game Pass basically allows you to pay one fee for 100 plus titles, and you can play them on PC or your Xbox. And some of the launch titles that were supposed to come out for this, like Halo and things, got delayed. So you don't really have that next gen experience with a Microsoft exclusive title. And there really is no exclusive anymore, because I think any game that's on Xbox now will be able to play on PC. You can see there's a little more grip on the pads. I mean, talk about next gen. So if you're going to get a console, I would not, unless Game Pass is a must for you, I would not be doing anything with the Xbox. What a waste of money. Now, the only exception to anything I'm saying here is if you don't have either PS4 or the Xbox Series X or anything, obviously get one of these. It'll be a little more future proof. But sorry to bring everybody down who's all excited about these things. I'm not going into all the technical details about the velocity drives and all of these things, because frankly, they're not an experience that I just was like, oh my gosh, this is a game changer. Everything's so different now. The first thing I notice about the PS4 or PS5, sorry, here is just the weight, the sheer weight of it. Now, again, I only had the S version of the Xbox, so it's really not fair to compare them from that standpoint. The S just feels really cheap. I don't like what Microsoft did of having a lower end, lower powered version of the Xbox Series S versus just what PlayStation 5, which is disc or discless. That was a much better move. Now, the controller in the PS5 is actually innovative. It's quite amazing. There's a game that comes with this called Astro. When you're jumping on things like different wet, like lily pads and things throughout the game, you actually can kind of feel like you're on a wet lily pad through the vibrations and the trigger action that is here in the PlayStation 5 controller. It's got a speaker built in. It's got that mute button right there, which is really, really nice. It just feels like the controller actually is innovative, but you could have put that on a PS4 Pro and it would have felt just as innovative there. On the front, you've got your USB-C, your regular USB, your power buttons and such, and of course your disk drive there. I don't like the base to turn it on its side, and the thing is so massive and so heavy. I don't know what entertainment systems will be able to hold it sitting just upright. I guess if you have your TV mounted on a wall or something and your stands below, it's just, this thing's a beast. It is heavy. It is solid. It definitely feels like you're getting more for your money from that standpoint. And of course, you have all of your 8K, 4K, and these are some of the things that come in the box. You do get a game. Remember when consoles used to come with the game? Xbox, I love that it comes with the game Astro, which is fun. My kids had more fun with that game than than all of the next gen games, including the new Spider-Man. They've played the Astro more than any of those games. As far as next gen games I've played, of course, the Astro. I've played that comes with the PlayStation 5, the, what is it, Call of Duty Wet War, or whatever the heck it's called, the new shooting game. It's terrible. I mean, terrible. And the Spider-Man actually is quite awesome, and I'll show you some scenes from that here shortly. The PlayStation 5, it definitely feels next gen. I love the look of it, and I like the feel of, I like what they did with the controllers and the different feelings you get when you're playing this game. Now, I can't play the sound on this because my video will get flagged, but, you know, just picture the Spider-Man theme. Spider-Man, Spider-Man does whatever a spider can, jumps around, spits in trees, or however it goes. Just imagine that. It looks beautiful, right? You got the nice reflections through the windows. It's absolutely gorgeous. But again, if you were playing this on the PS4 Pro, maybe slightly less graphics, maybe you wouldn't have some of the reflections and things on the ground, but you would still have an amazing, it would be a great game on the PS4 Pro or on the PS5, which is why I'm saying to really save your money between these two devices here. The adaptive triggers on the PlayStation 5, that's what I was trying to think of earlier. That's really cool. You pick up a gun or something and it'll make it press harder for something like a sniper rifle than, say, if you're using an automatic weapon. But again, all the innovation feels like it's inside the controller. These are the two side by side. You're not missing anything. Just pay the regular price, wait till they come out and hit the shelves. Be patient and let somebody who's out there trying to get these with kids and things to get one. I had pre-ordered these because you're probably like, well, why didn't you wait for somebody else to get the kids? Well, my kids wanted these. This was the big thing on their Christmas list. So I got both of them. I regret getting both of them as far as spending the money, because there's just nothing here that is worth the money. And if you're patient and pick these up, sell your other consoles and pick them up, then great. And maybe there will be more innovation coming down the line. But this Sony and Microsoft, especially Microsoft, really just missed it here for these two. And that's my opinion. Let me know in the comments below what you think. And until next time, get out there and fill your brains.